Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, jumping into another Swiss Phantom Shadows Over Innistrad sealed event. Just wanted to remind you to subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Please like this video and check out my Twitch stream. You can find the link to that in the video description, or just go to SeemsGoodMagic.com. It's on the front page. Looks like it just fired, so let's check out our pool, huh? So first thing is first. Let's just go to rarity here. Ooh, so we got a Jace, and always watching bite. Wow, we have a lot of good playables here. And a Markov Dreadnought, okay, or Dreadknight. I always call it Dreadnought for some reason. Someone called me out for that. Well, this is looking good. Ideally, our blue and our white are looking good because our rares are very powerful there. So now we're going to sort by color, and we're going to systematically look at our colors here. So we've got in white. Let's see all the playables. I actually have quite a few white playables. A wee bit top-heavy, I admit. But, no, this actually looks fine. Gossipmonger's good. Stern Constable, probably actually pretty good and sealed. Tapping down a fatty is probably good. Thraben Inspector, of course, is playable. Fox and Drifter are fine. Bishop. Survive the Night's playable, not amazing. Always watching is a reason to be white. Inquisitor's Ox is not great, but playable. Inspiring Captain is fine. Tenacity is, of course, good. And we've got a couple Reapers. So that's looking pretty solid. I'm digging our white a lot so far. Next was blue, which did look good, too. Although, blue-white not my fave. If the pool looks good there, then we'll try it. So we've got Jace. Confirmed Suspicions, which I assume is playable. Gone Missings are playable. Sleep Paralysis is good. All of actually Deny Existence probably gets better. This is playable. Press. Couple Bounce. Erdwell Illuminator. Blue actually looks fine too. This is looking like a pretty deep pool, actually. I'm kind of digging it. So let's put our blue back. This looks fine. We have removal. We've got some tempo stuff. Just the Wind's probably pretty good with your Stern Constable. Tap a thing, bounce a thing. Jace, of course, powerful card. Huge card advantage. All right, let's put all of these little fellas back. Actually, let's just sort by color. Make this slightly smaller. Move this over here. All right. Next, we have blacks. We have the Dread Knight. Biting Rain, better sideboard card. Stormkirk Mentor. I think Ghoul might actually be more playable and sealed. Maybe not. Curse Switch, Kindly Stranger, Crow, Rats, Concoction, Deadweight, Macabre Waltz. So, black is looking good too. We haven't actually had a bad color yet, which is going to make this a little bit more time consuming, I suppose. So, what did black, I guess, offer us? It looks like we have plenty of playables to play any of our colors so far. So after I take a look at our remaining two colors, then I think we're just going to start really looking at where the highest value cards are, which is, as I have said, a great problem to have. Fantastic problem to have. All right. Red looks fine as well. We have a Geist Blast and a Fiery Temper. Not the best removal in this format, but fine. I love Dance with Devils. Mad Prophet is very good. Arsonist and Reduced to Ashes are just fine playables. So far, it looks like red it might be our weakest, though. Both Geist Blast and Fiery Temper are fine cards, and you'll play them, but you're not, like, blown away by them. For example, I think I like Deadweight more than I like Geist Blast, I think. Yeah, I don't think. I know. I do. Even though Geist Blast burns face, I'd rather pay less mana and permanently damage something. I digress. Let's look at our final color here, which is, of course, green. Scavenger, Logger, Amai. All right, well, green, as per usual, is also looking good. Pack Guardian is a powerful card. No removal, though, which is not terribly uncommon. We do have an Aim High, Might Be on Reason, and a Confront the Unknown, though, that are all very playable. Combat Tricks, at the very least. Although green, to be perfectly frank, is not our best looking color. So right now it's kind of looking like blue-white could be a thing. It's either that or maybe white-black, possibly blue-black. But I think we got to play our white. Our white really kind of impressed me quite a bit. I think our white is looking very good. Always Watching and Bygone Bishop are very strong cards. And I think we've got enough cheap stuff. So I think white is just going to be our color. I'm really liking the pool there. I guess we don't have removal exactly, do we? So maybe we want to pair it with something that has good removal. But actually our blue had pretty decent removal. I mean, Jace is kind of removal. Suspicions is not great, but fine. I probably wouldn't play the Gone Missings here. I kind of like Welcome to the Fold alongside Stern Constable, but that is our only... It appears to be our only... I guess Catalog is too, but it's not going to happen all that often. Just the Winds, Illuminator, Sleep Paralysis, Observer, Niblis, and Deny Existence. So, and Press. So here is what this pool looks like. Or this deck, rather. I guess we'd have to make a couple cuts, right? This is 14 creatures, so we'd probably end up cutting some spells. Probably one of the Just the Winds. I'd rather have a temporary answer that draws us a card instead of the bounce spell. And then the last cut would probably be... I kind of want the Confirmed Suspicions. I feel like that card is probably pretty good and sealed. Tough to say, though. And I think I actually like Survive the Night. I like it more than most people do. Deny Existence actually feels like a pretty good sealed card as well. But I suppose I could cut it. Welcome to the Fold gets a lot worse when you can basically only cheat it out with one card. But you definitely want to steal some bombs. I don't know. I don't know if I'm actually sold on blue-white. I might actually like the black more. Why don't we take a look? So our high power cards in black are this guy. Concoction's got to be very premium removal. Kindly Stranger is, of course, if you can get it going. Markov Dread Knight. I have won some games on the back of that fellow. I will tell you that. That card is remarkably good. Recently took a Dread Knight over a bound by Moonsilver, which some of the chat definitely disagreed with, but I stand by that pick, and it did proceed to win me some games, so I was super happy about that. So it looks like if we do this, what are our actual ways to get Delirium? So we have the Crow, which is a fantastic Delirium enabler. We also have 8 creatures technically that interact with Bygone Bishop, which is a good amount. I'm not unhappy with that. I actually really like our creature curve. Looks like we're staying busy at all points in the game, rather. Curse Witch is fantastic. Dread Knight, like I said. Macabre Waltz to get it back. We're a little bit Mommy light, but this actually looks like a nice value deck. We also have the Always Watching. So between Always Watching and Dread Knight, we have some very high impact rares there. Especially if we can curve out like Gossipmonger into Fox into Always Watching, Bash Flip. That's a lot of damage. So that's the main reason I think we have to play white. But I'm kind of liking the black more than the blue, despite not having Jace. I feel as though having actual hard removal is just something you really want to make sure you have. And even with that, we were very light. We have 1 Sinister Concoction. I probably play the Apparatus. It did pan out for us last time. And I want Delirium pretty badly for this Kindly Stranger. So it's at least another piece of hard removal. Actually, is that it for... oh yeah, the Reapers too. Reapers can steal some games, and Inquisitor's Ox. So I guess we don't have like... And the Drifter. Yeah, you know, we certainly have enough Delirium where I want to pay attention to it. Is there anything worth splashing? Because we do have some actual fixer lands. None for blue. Not that we could splash anything. We have some for green, but it doesn't look like there's anything in green I'd want to splash. And there's not really anything in red I'd want to splash. So... I don't think I want to do behind the scenes, but it is an option. I already have the always watching. Other than that, Skulk is not like insane in this deck. Most of our guys are 3 power already, so I probably don't want to do that. I can do the Wicker Witch to just help Delirium enabling, and it's a fairly efficient beater. It's either that or I maybe play the Stallion if I thought I could reliably get Delirium. It looks like we probably can, actually. Enchantment, Artifact, Sorcery, Instant. So we actually are pretty good. And then creatures, Crow. We're probably going to play the Warped Landscape since we have no other way besides Crow to get the lands in our graveyard. This looks like a 17 land deck, I think. Let me combine. I guess we top out at 5. This could actually be a 16 lander. I think the main reason to not play 16 lands, besides the obvious mana screw potential, is that we really don't have like a ton of premium playables I'd want to do in place. We still have the opportunity to maybe take a look, because I guess we're really not playing that many. The last pick card maybe just the Stallion. So this would be our 23 cards, which doesn't look bad. Like I said, our curve is fine. Why don't we take a look at... I think green's out just because I don't know. There's some good creatures in there, but I'm not exactly feeling it. So we'll set the black deck here. We can take a look at the red. Reduce Arsonist, this guy, all these. And... okay, so we'd actually have to make cuts. Probably the Howlpack Wolf just because it basically doesn't block. Dance with Devils is kind of like a creature. Oh, we forgot to cut the... whoops. Whoopsie. So we move these out. And I guess this would be a 23-card deck. So do I like this more? We've got a Looter. We've got a couple burn/removal spells. Reduce. This deck is lacking hard removal, though, which I think is a big issue. So I think I am going to stick with the black because I want to be able to just really deal with anything, and I think the only way to do that is going to be Kindly Stranger and Sinister Concoction. They are just the actual hard removal I think this deck is looking for. Alright, so let's bring in Concoction, all these guys, Macabre Waltz, there you go. Sure. Alright, so this is the 23-card deck, I believe. What's the weakest card in this deck? Actually, maybe for Bygone Bishop synergy, I want to run the Wicker Witch. It also helps us turn on our Delirium. Yeah, that's probably better. Bygone Bishop synergy plus Delirium probably trumps paying an extra mana for potential shade effect, even though I think Stallion might actually be a consideration here. In fact, maybe I could play Stallion over Ox now that I think about it. I'd probably rather have a shade effect than a really good blocker. Probably. It's tough to say. How much do I like the Stern Constable in here? So, Stern Constable basically actually doesn't seem fantastic in here. Maybe I just want the Ox instead of that. Really up the... I mean, it is a way to get Delirium technically, but... and it's like, I guess it's kind of... it's not hard removal, but it's temporary removal. I don't love Stern Constable. But I might just play it anyway. No equipment, which is a bit of a letdown. So we do have some evasion, though. So we have the Reapers, we have the Dread Knight, we have the Bishop, we have the Drifter, potentially the Crow. So we have some flyers. We have a good creature count. We have some removal. Only like a couple actual really hard removals, though, which I guess is going to have to be good enough. Always Watching is a great card, though, so that can do some work. Curse Witch is fantastic as well. Reaper can put people away, especially if we can pretty reliably get Delirium, which I still kind of stand by. I think this deck can. So yeah, the last one is basically Constable versus Ox, which I guess we don't need. Thing about this deck is we might actually be able to sideboard into a completely different deck if we go up against something that has a good match against this. We've got some other options at our disposal. The blue deck, I guess, where we can play Jace. Jace is definitely good, but other than that, blue seems like temporary tempo stuff with a format and a deck that I don't think is super conducive to trying to tempo. Like, I don't like Welcome to the Fold when I have one way to madness it. Basically, a 4-mana, fairly weaker than normal control magic probably isn't good enough. Sleep Paralysis is good, though. That's a hard answer. I still stand by I think Concoction's better. It's just a fantastic Delirium Enabler. I think I just am going to play this deck. So I guess we'll keep the Constable. I'm on the fence about that one versus Ox, but just because this really does block the world. And then maybe we fly over top is like better. But I guess Constable also works with Bishop, which is nice. And it can stop fatties, which our deck can't do a lot of. So, all right. All right. I'm going to settle on this build. With 17 lands. I just want to make sure we're hitting our lands. We have some actual card draw in here with the Bygone Bishop, too. And a little bit of card advantage with Macabolts getting back our strong guys. So, seems worth it, I think. We'll find out. So, Warped Landscape comes in. We're going to go 9-7. Probably can do 8-8. I do have 3 double white, though. Oh, I do want to hit that Always Watching. All right, let's do 9-7. It's more like 10-8 with the Warped Landscape anyway. I don't think this deck is super powerful because we are lacking a little bit on the bomby front. Like I said, the most bomb spells in here are Dread Knight and Always Watching. So we have 2 basic bombs in here. The rest are just fairly good curve sort of deck with not a ton of removal. So I can't really evaluate this deck as being super powerful. I probably have enough green fatties where I could just go like green-white and just resign myself to the fact that I have like no hard removal. Hunter. You can't really, the problem is you can't really splash for Concoction because it takes 2 turns to do it. You could, well, that's really the problem with splashing Concoction or Kindly Stranger. They both would take like 2 turns before you get to do them, which really isn't that great of a splash. You really want your splash to just impact right away. I don't know. It might actually be that green is better because Graph Mole works so well with the Bygone Bishop. I could audible into it last second. I have 9 spells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What would be my last card? Veteran Cathar, probably. Maybe instead of the Might, I do the Confront, because I could have some... So I could do this instead. I've got time. I've got a minute and a half, so we're not in an emergency situation. What's the curve look like on this? This is not bad. Bygone with Graph Mole is pretty sexy. Veteran Cathar looks good with all these humans. Pack Guardian is pretty good. No hard removal, though. I think I'm just going to... I'm going to stick with the black. That's close. I might sideboard into that deck. All right. I've deliberated enough, settled on this build. So we're going to run it like this. We'll see how we do. Yeah, I don't know exactly what kind of grade to give this deck. It looks like it's a C. C territory for sure. All right. We'll see you round 1.